Hey, hi, hello, welcome back. I am Heather, or Miss Postweight if you're one of my students. This is Pages with Postweight, and today we're going to talk a little bit about a passion project that I have going where I'm trying to read the world. I have a goal for the end of this year to try and read at least 3 countries before the end of the year. So I'm looking for translated literature from several different countries. I am going to include here right now where I spun my little wheel and kind of talked about this. So this is future Heather, and I'm gonna go back to past Heather and introduce this whole thing. And then when you come back here, we're gonna talk about the one I did for October. I'm gonna try doing a little bit of a vlog. We'll see. This is gonna last several months because kind of a project that is close to my heart that I've been trying to do even before I started this channel, reading around the world. Reading translated books from all over the world so that I'm a little more well-read. I'm sparking this because here we are in the last days of August, and I'm looking at the last 4 months, and this is my reading journal, and this gorgeous layout that I set up to be my pages for books that I've read that are translated, and it fell off the table this year completely. I was reading Madagascar, actually. I was very excited about it, and it just all fell off the table. I even still have the books. I just kind of stopped reading them and stopped pursuing it. I just stopped being motivated. So I have decided to kind of revamp and try something different. So I'm going to try to read one different country each of the next 4 months. So by the end of the year, I should have 4 countries that I've read from. Maybe more than one book, maybe just one book, but we'll see what we can do. But I want to read something that's been translated, that's from that country. I mean, if they speak English, great, but that's from that nation. I typed in all of the nations that I found a big list. There's 193 countries on this picker wheel. I'm going to spin it 6 times. So I'm going to get 6 countries. Of those 6 countries, I'm going to choose 4 of those. I'm going to try and get something translated from those countries. Some of these countries are tiny. I just don't know what's out there and what is accessible. So I figured if I gave myself 6, then I would be kind of safe with that one. Whatever comes up, I'm going to take. So let's do this. 6 countries. Here we go. First one. My first country is Bahrain. I hope I'm saying that right. Let's write that down. Yeah, Heather, do you even know where that is? I will find it though. Spinning in. Option number 2. Montenegro. Okay. Japan. I do know where that one's located. Number 4. Kuwait. All right. 2 to go. Oh, Guatemala. Okay, another one I actually know where it's located. I'm kind of excited. This is a lot of really great countries. Ones I don't know that I'm going to get to know and hopefully find some awesome stuff. The Netherlands. All right. I have 6 awesome countries to choose from. I have 4 months. I'm going to try and read at least one translated piece of literature from each one. The last time I was doing this, I also tried to see if I couldn't find like shows or movies or music that was also kind of integral or cultural to the countries that I'm studying. Who knows? Maybe I can even find some recipes. So I think this will be a lot of fun. I'm excited. I would love to fill this page. Yeah, join me. Let's have some fun. Let's go all over the world reading. Okay, so here we are, end of October. I totally messed up in September and didn't read anything. So although my goal originally had been to read 4 countries between now and the end of the year to get into my reading journal, September just did not happen. I couldn't make it happen with band book week and some other things that just, my reading was somewhere else. So we popped into October and I have been reading a ton for some like readathons and that kind of thing. And so I was able to incorporate some of the stuff that I'd wanted to read, and I chose Japan to start because it was by far one of the easier ones that I had spun. For whatever reason, and I'm very happy about it, we have a plethora of Japanese translated literature. I have so much at my fingertips that I can read that are works from Japanese artists, Japanese authors. We have, I think, kind of an obsession here in the United States with Japan. And so that just opens a lot of doors. I wish every country was as easy as Japan has been. I kind of mentioned previously that I was trying to do Madagascar. I was so excited to have that country come up and have had the absolute worst time finding translated literature. It's not a language that gets translated as much. And so if I spoke French, I think I had an easier time of finding Madagascaran literature. Anyway, my life goal, passion project is to try and read a book from every country in the world at some point. So my language barriers, I speak obviously English, and then I have a limited foundation of Portuguese that I am trying to improve. And I have kind of a baseline, it's less than Portuguese. Under Portuguese, I have Spanish. So I'm working with those. I'm trying to get better at those. I will make those attempts as they come. Japan. So I was able to, and I'm not going to stop reading books translated from Japanese because I love what I've read. What have I read? I was able to kind of dabble in 2 manga series this month. One was one that I'm absolutely adoring. I am having the best time with Insomniacs after school. This is the cutest series. I know there's an anime, but I have not sought that out yet. It's so sweet. It's so gentle. It's so beautiful. These 2 kids, both of them have trouble sleeping, and they have different reasons for that. And as the story progresses, you kind of understand them a little bit more. We have Magari and Nakami, and they form kind of a friendship and get to know each other. They have found the astronomy tower at their school is a really good place to get some sleep. And after school, or even skipping some things, they end up getting rest there, taking naps there. They both kind of found this little hideout. Well, turns out they can't keep doing that unless they have a club. They end up creating the astronomy club and actually finding a little more interest in that. Photography. It's just a sweet, beautiful story. I am absolutely adoring it. So I'm waiting on volume 6 to get to me. Volume 7 is sitting there teasing me, but I want to read volume 6 first. The second manga that I read was actually because of my readathon. I needed a prompt I had to fill, was to have some sort of communication word in the title. I was struggling with that because I had to, it had to have something else with it. Anyway, I kept looking, and I stumbled upon a series called Komi Can't Communicate. So I got the word communicate. I ended up reading volume 2, so I am waiting on volume 1 to come in and kind of fill in some gaps for my understanding. But you basically have a main character, Komi, who everyone idolizes. They think she's like perfection and beautiful, but she has extreme difficulties with communication and is not able to really articulate outside of her family. So she's trying to make friends. It's still very cute, but I'm going to say it's like a level above Insomniacs After School, where I would put that one. I'm going to mention it in my middle grade wrap up. Komi Can't Communicate is probably more at the YA level. Very cute. I think I would like to continue that series as well. Just kind of sillies. High school drama. Besides manga, I did read 2 novels, both of them translated. The first one was Before the Coffee Gets Cold, and that is by, I'm about to really mutilate names and I apologize. That is by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. And the translator there was Jeffrey Trouselot. I enjoyed that. I know there's a whole series, and so I probably will continue that. I was invested in this little coffee shop. This one is pretty well known and it's very popular, and a lot of people have read it. Mixed reviews, but I enjoyed it. The storyline follows this magical realism element of a coffee shop with a special chair where you can sit and you can go back in time for a conversation with a person in the past. There's some rules, there's some things, and the way the story was set up, it just kind of, it was cute. It was 4 different stories of 4 different people who sat in that chair, and their stories kind of tie and fit together. It was sweet. Tears were shed. I will say that. I will probably read another one. I liked the way the story was presented, and I like the way the characters communicate. And I feel like that piece was a snapshot kind of into some cultural differences between the way people talk to each other and interact and behave. I found that really interesting. The second book that I read was one that, I'm going to tell you honestly, the cover really sold me. And that was Strange Weather in Tokyo. This is by Hiromi Kawakami, I hope, translated by Allison Markin Powell. The book was written in 2001, so it is 23 years old. It's a relationship story. It is a love story. It is a romance, but it is a deeper relationship, and it is a different relationship between these 2 people. We have Sensei, which is the professor, the teacher, and we have Tsukiko, who was Sensei's student in high school many years ago. Tsukiko is older now. I want to say she's in her 30s, and Sensei is much older now. I want to say 60s, 70s. And they're coming from completely different life experiences and figuring out that, each of their weirdnesses match. I don't know how to express that. Like, they just understand each other on some different levels, and it's not like it started out in this passionate relationship. I don't know that it ever got to that passionate relationship. It's not a romance like the romance girlies read. This is a journey over a couple years of building a friendship, and it was different. I think I ended up with a 3.5 stars on that one. I liked the journey, and I definitely liked sneak peeks into cultural differences and just seeing life in Tokyo and snapshot sneak peeks into that world. I don't usually go for like the May, December romances. Those aren't my trope. But it didn't feel like that kind of a story. Anyway, I enjoyed it. I really had fun with this. And I am really excited because I have a ton of books that I get to put on my little page in my reading journal for Japan. I am going to read Baharan for November and try and do some other deep dives. I did find a book. I'm excited about that. And so I got at least one. I think I have a couple of short stories also because of a website that I was able to find. So I have a couple of things that I'm going to read for November, but I'm going to tackle Baharan. Completely different opportunities for reading literature that does not have nearly as many options, but I'm excited to get to know that country a little bit better as well. So there you go. That's my sneak peek of what's coming up in November, how I did in October, and September was a total flop for this particular project. And I'm excited. It'll be good. Can't wait. Thanks for joining my passion project of Read the World. I hope you are finding awesome books to read and getting out of your comfort zone. Bye, guys.